It's ready for the worst. Hopefully we're live.
Not yet. We are now.
Are we live now?
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Three Guys Who Love Sports. My name is Chuck Burns, and I'm joined today by David Griffin on my right, your left, and Mark War on my left, your right.
Yeah, just call me Niles.
Yeah. You missed the whole pre-story thing. So we're here at Red Air Brewing again to talk about sports. Again, this show is to help those with prostate cancer and other men's diseases that will take your mind off of it for a little bit and have a laugh, I hope, and have a good time listening to what we guys have to say about sports. We are the three guys who love sports today. Doesn't mean you can't be in some down in the future. We'll talk about that later. We do want to hear about what you've got to say about the Masters, who you think might win the Masters. You can reach us by texting at 470-7-SPORTS, 470-7-SPORTS. And for those of you that only recognize numbers, that's 470-777-6787. 470-777-6787. Is that better?
That's better.
I think so.
Okay. So today, obviously, we are in our Masters attire. We all have on our different Master hats. Even Larry, our engineer and producer, has on the Masters visor. But we're going to start off real quickly today, just recapping the Final Four and what happened in the NCAA Basketball Championship. As I told you from the first day of the show we did about it, Kansas won. So how bad my luck is I picked the winner and I still didn't win the pool. We did have 38 brackets in our pool, and I came in second, so I'll win a little money, but not as much as I would have liked to have won. Took some flyers on some early games that didn't work out well, but in the end, I did pick the winner. So I'm kind of proud of myself for that. First time since 1985. So every 37 years, I got a shot. That's kind of the way I look at that.
Hey, I stayed awake for the game.
I did too. I made it to the end. And that was a victory.
Watch it.
Why they can't start these games an hour earlier? You know, so you don't have to.
And listen, I don't get a 9:20 start time for East Coast viewers. I mean, there's a lot of people on the East Coast.
Absolutely.
I mean, it didn't compute for me. 9:20 start time.
So
It was
out of the Final Four, we had Villanova and Kansas, and it really wasn't much of a game, even though Villanova made a run late to get within 6. But Kansas just blew them away from the get-go. Kansas was obviously the more superior team.
well, wait now. I think North Carolina took a 25-point victory in the first 20 minutes of the game, didn't they?
Well, we're talking about Villanova, North Carolina.
Oh, no,
Villanova and Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Villanova and Kansas.
Yeah, this was the Final
The
Four,
semifinal.
not the Final Two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sounding like a Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
So, but
Wait a second.
He called me Niles earlier.
You
said
can-
this is a fair game.
You can cuss me, but don't lower me.
So, Villanova did have their number 2 offensive scorer and probably their best defender out of the game from a torn Achilles. So, last week, Robert and
torn
Rusty
what?
that were on there with me.
Torn what?
Achilles.
Achilles.
Achilles?
Achilles heel. Yeah.
Okay.
So, we all did 3, did pick Kansas. They picked them out of 4, I picked them out of 64. But was that the better game than the Duke North Carolina game?
No.
You're so good at this. Praise. He praised
What did I
on you.
just tell you? Once
You're
out of
so good.
37 years, I picked the winner.
You like
So
Haley's
good.
comment.
I mean-
Once out of 37 years. So,
We got to take you to the hospital to put a sling on that arm for patting yourself on the back.
so was Duke and Carolina a better game than Villanova and
Yes.
Kansas?
Absolutely.
Was it a better game than Kansas and who did they beat? North Carolina. Which was the better game?
I think the Duke, North Carolina, because of the intrigue behind the game, you know, the desire to, you wanted Coach K to get a shot, you know, and all the background that goes between those two teams. I really think that there was more vesting on my part in watching that game than watching Kansas.
I think the story was better in the North Carolina Duke.
Yeah.
I think the game was better, you know, in the Kansas North Carolina game.
What was
you
the
come
most-
back from 15 down and win by 3.
What was the most significant thing about the Duke North Carolina game to you? And I'll give you mine. Yours too, Mark.
The most significant thing to me was strictly the intrigue about, you know, Coach K potentially winning. You know, I mean, it's movie type stuff. Come through and do that on your last thing, and then go out, you know, riding on your white horse. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean, that's the whole. That was the most intriguing thing to me. That made me want to watch. It made me want him to win it. I really wanted him to win it.
Yeah,
I'm not a K guy.
I would have been upset if Duke would have won.
You wouldn't have been.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, other than losing a little money, but I would have liked to see Coach K win. But to me, the most intriguing point of that game was going into that game, Coach K had coached against North Carolina 99 times. That was their 100th game. Duke had won 50, North Carolina had won 49.
Yeah.
So in the end,
It
it
was a
decided
50-50
whether Coach
record.
K had a winning record against North Carolina
Yeah.
or not for the history, and now he doesn't. They're tied at 50-50.
Well,
unless he comes back like Tom Brady.
If you really want to get specific, two of those games he didn't coach. Two of the wins he didn't coach. So he was actually 48 and 50.
That's true. But
I
it's
did
but
not
it's
know that.
but
Those two games he was out with health problems and did not actually coach the game. His team played and won it. But he didn't
right.
actually coach
But
it.
he assembled that team. So it really
He
is.
coached the team to that point, so it was,
Yeah.
he got credit for the win because he
Right.
was the coach of record that year, but he didn't actually coach the game. Here's another trivia for you. Who was his first loss to?
North Carolina.
Who was his last home loss to?
North Carolina.
Who was his last loss to?
North Carolina.
Yeah, that's
And who does he not like anymore?
North Carolina. But you know, it might
What
be-
shade of blue will he never wear?
How do you think Roy Williams felt about the game? Because Roy used to coach Kansas and he used to coach Carolina.
I saw the best sign in the crowd. The guy was holding up a sign that says, "Even Roy left you."
From Kansas?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Even Roy left
That's
you.
funny. Well, congratulations to Kansas for being the national champions in basketball. And another 37 years, I'll pick it right again.
We'll
But
see
I- but
the
I-
end of the NCAA investigation. We'll see if they get to keep it or
Kansas?
yeah.
That's true.
Now-
And I think Steve will say something about later when he calls in. He was very upset about that.
Now, if you guys love sports, did you watch the UConn-Stanford women's game?
No.
It was a great
Oh, I
game.
did, yeah.
Sure was.
It was a great.
semifinal,
It
right?
was back and forth the whole game. It was, it was definitely from a fan's point of view of watching a game with give and take. That was a good game.
It really was. And South Carolina was just a better team than UConn.
Oh, they just
In the final.
rebounded
outplayed
them.
Outdid everything.
I
But
mean-
what was funny was, did you know that was the first time that UConn had lost in a championship game, be it men's or women's?
Well, did you see the interview with
They were 15 and 15 and 0.
the interview with UConn's coach? And when he said they asked him, said, "What's happening out there?" He goes, "We're getting our butts whipped, and we're not doing well anywhere."
We're getting our butts whipped and we're not playing well either.
Yeah.
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 So it's on from college football, basketball, and we'll just start talking about all things Masters from now on. So I think the number one story of the week is, let's talk about Tiger.
Is that the number one story of the Masters?
It shouldn't be this week, but it is. I have a great deal of respect for Tiger, which I used to not have. But if he comes back from this, and let's say by some miracle he wins, I would be just blown away. Just blown away.
You're not blown away that he won with a bad back?
No. Coming back from a year ago thinking his leg was going to be amputated, bad back's one thing. Losing your leg, it's tough to play on one leg. But if anybody can do it, I think Tiger might do
If
it.
he's able to do that or even win a major going forward, this is Ben Hogan-esque.
Absolutely.
Well, I think if he finishes the round, that's going to be pretty amazing in itself. That's a tough course to walk.
The fact that he's playing is amazing to me.
There's a lot of hills on that course. There's an awful lot of walking.
He's
If he
walked
can
it-
play,
he's walked it a couple of times in the last couple of weeks.
yeah, but 4 days of playing golf and walking,
That's
that's
going to be the hard part.
Yeah.
How much he tightens up, day to day.
It's the recovery after the round.
You know,
Which is
it-
going to be the story.
The heroes will be his 3 or 4 masseuses
Oh,
that are getting him ready after the
Every day.
round, before the round,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Well, do you think he's going to make the cut?
Yeah, I think he knows how to. I think he knows how to position himself in this.
Oh, he knows every blade of grass on this.
So yeah, I think
I
won't be able to see
I think
David
he'll
over here.
make the cut. I think that he just understands the golf course.
Yeah, probably better than anybody else out there.
He's other than Jack Nicklaus, who has 6.
well. His irons are so good.
I think he's the best title player.
I think that course really rewards a guy who can hit his spot on the green, and that's where Tiger really excels.
He knows where the ball needs to go. My biggest concern about Tiger is, I was watching his interview on Tuesday or whenever it was, and he said, I'm not old anymore, and all you people older than me know how stiff your body gets when it gets cold. I think Saturday, the high's only going to be 55, and the wind's going to be blowing 25 miles an hour. I think that might be tough on him.
I think he will be too.
I just hope
We
it's
forget about his back every time on his leg, but he doesn't have a good back.
yeah.
Most golfers don't.
No.
I mean,
Oh yeah, bad backs is fairly common.
It's cliche in
Yeah.
PGA Tour.
Yeah.
So
And I guess the other big story is, where's Phil? And it's very odd that Phil Mickelson's not there. And I was watching.
Well, Phil, I think didn't want to bring the controversy that comes with what he said about that.
Second league.
Yeah.
Yeah, the alternate league. Well, they asked Fred Ridley today, that's right, his name, right? Fred Ridley, the chairman of the board. They asked Fred in his press conference today if he uninvited or disinvited Phil Mickelson. And he said, we absolutely did not. He said,
Well, that-
Phil's decision, Phil texted me 6 weeks ago and said, I don't think it's good for me to be there this week. And he said he was very appreciative. They had a cordial exchange
But
about
I
it.
got to believe he may not have been disinvited, but there were conversations.
I don't know.
There were conversations with saying, this is going to be kind of bad here.
Augusta hates anything that draws attention away from Augusta.
Yeah, it's about the golf to them.
And it is about the golf to them. I mean, the one time I've been there, it was back in '95. Tiger was playing as a amateur. Played with Jumbo Ozaki.
Yeah.
Got there, followed him on off the number 2 tee, and par 5 right corner left. He outdrove Jumbo, who is known as a big hitter. Outdrove Jumbo by 60 yards. Had an 8-iron into number 2.
Wow.
Par 5. So, but when you're on the course, the back of your ticket says we only want you thinking about one thing when you come down, Magnolia Lane, and that is the game of golf. We don't want any distractions. I spent $3.50 on lunch. 95, but it's still
Yeah.
If
I
I
think
go
the
to
prices are still the same.
I tell you what.
When I went to the Braves, dollar sandwiches, 50 cents for chips, Coke, and a
Well-
Snickers bar.
What was your favorite food there?
Oh, it was I only ate the sandwich.
The egg salad and some
Egg
some
salad.
cheese.
I ate the egg salad because egg salad,
Yeah,
I know
egg
it's
salad.
just eggs and mayonnaise, but it tastes different
It's
there.
ridiculous.
I don't know, but they
It's
put
in-
something else in there, or if
you're-
it's the
you're
bread
in
they use.
Augusta, man. It's heavenly. It's like manna.
I know. I know a lot of people like the pimento cheese, but I'm not a pimento cheese guy. But that egg salad,
Well, that's something I posted last night. You talking about being in heaven there. I posted that I'd love to be a fly in the room where they were having the championships dinner. And the one thing I said was, unless you've walked this property, you have no appreciation for how beautiful it really is. And if there is a course in heaven, this is probably what it looks like.
Yeah, I think it says in the Bible that the earth will be destroyed except for Augusta National.
Except for Augusta
That's the only thing being left.
oh yeah, that was in Revelations, right?
It's the second Hezekiah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, second Hezekiah.
Hezekiah. or Matsuyama. Second Matsuyama.
But,
So that's pretty cool. So yeah, good things going on at the Masters this week. We'll get into the players in a minute. We're going to be bringing in Michael or Molly or somebody. If Larry could go fetch them pretty quick. And then we'll get into a couple of things. One of the things we want to talk about in the next segment is if you had the opportunity to play one hole at the Masters, which would it be and why? So let's give some thought to that as we talk a little bit.
okay,
more
think about it, because the and why
Yeah.
is very telling. So we had this conversation in the past.
Mark and I've had it in the past, yes.
Yeah.
But we have different thoughts, and that's just the way it is.
I mean, you could say, I would rather play the second hole because there's no one ever going to watch me there.
No one's going to watch it. If I get a chance to play it, there'll be nobody there but my
No one sits on hole number 2 all day and watches golf.
But I just said I did that. He just called me no one.
Two's an interesting
Yes.
hole.
No one does that.
I like two. It's not a bad one.
Okay.
All right, David, step out for a second. Let's
Yeah, there we go.
the marvelous Molly step in here for a second. Molly, we're talking all things Masters today, but
Oh,
speaking
man.
of Masters, what's going on with the Master Brewer here at Red Hair?
So, I think we talked a little bit about it last week, but we finally released our pecan spiced rum
Oh, wow.
last weekend. So, on the 1st, we started all of our new cocktails, so that was really fun. You can now get like a spiced rum and Coke at the brewery, which is cool.
Spice rum
Yeah,
Coke. That's not a
perfect.
bad thing.
Yeah. So that's been really fun. And then we also just released our 5K, our spring 5K details. That'll be Saturday, June 11th at 8 a.m. in the historic Marietta Square.
Oh, really?
We may have to broadcast live from there. That might be something good.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, from all the runners.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can ask them how they feel at the beginning and end.
Yeah. when I always work at the Gobble job up there with Musminster.
Oh, do you? Oh, cool.
And Tom and I always, Tom Gunner, who is with Musminster, we work the finish line, and we have an over and under of how many people can throw up. It was like 5 this year, and 8 did. It was crazy.
Oh, man.
Thinking that's the most they've ever had.
Well, ours is fun too because you end yours with a beer.
Oh,
So
Do you have to do a
get
beer every K?
No, not every K. We want them to finish the race.
like
Yeah.
on the
okay.
nerds, they had to do all these laps and drink a beer at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Oh, God.
But you're not prohibited from drinking one every K, right?
I think as long as it's in a clear plastic cup, you follow the law
Okay.
down there.
Yeah, you're
All right. So you beer drinkers, they got some
And
good
remind
stuff.
us- Remind us again about what's going to be happening April 23rd.
April 23rd, we have the Spring Fling here at the main tap room, and it's going to be a bartending competition and a live music all day.
That's fantastic. And we know from last week that Molly's favorite golfer is Mark Calcavecchia. Is he
Yeah.
teeing it up? He won one, didn't he?
Why Mark Calcavecchia?
I used to work at Firestone Country Club when I was growing up, and I met him picking up one of his balls, and he signed it for me, and then he made sure my stepdad, who worked in the locker room, got one of his towels and all this.
So he can
stuff.
put his
It was
entire
very nice.
name on a golf ball?
No, it just said Cal.
Oh, okay.
And then I followed him for that back 9, and he was really fun. So.
All right.
All right. So if Mark is not going to play, who is your winner for the tournament this weekend?
I don't know. That's a hard question.
And are you a Tiger fan?
I used to be because Firestone was his club, like that was his golf course, but not so much anymore. I haven't really kept up too much with it, but I guess Tiger would be the next best thing.
Okay. Well, we'll find out coming this week. Molly, thanks
All
for sitting
right.
in with us.
Thanks
Always
for
good to
having
see
me.
you.
Good to see you
All right.
too.
Now, see, David, she doesn't look like not. But you come on back here.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to get back into the Masters real quick.
Nobody looks like Niles.
Except not.
Except Miles.
Right.
All right,
Nobody
so
else.
let's just kind of go through the holes and which one, if we think they're tough holes. I mean, they're all tough holes, and then we can determine which one we want. So one's pretty much straight par 4, right? Uphill, woods to the left, woods to the right. I never knew this, but 10's on the other. No, 10's on the other side of 18, not 1. Yeah. Tough opening holes. The green's fairly undulated, from what I remember.
Elevated.
Yeah, elevated, and
You have to slow.
it's a tough opening hole. What do you say?
Yeah.
I mean, they'd all be tough for me.
Well,
You see me play golf.
They're tough. They're tough for all. Really, for the pros, there's not a level stance except on the tee boxes in Augusta.
And somebody said that
There's not a
yesterday. The
level
only
putt.
oh, it was Tiger. He said the only level spots on this golf course are the 18 tee box.
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah. You don't ever see somebody flat in the fairway with a flat lie. It's balls above your
Well, that's
feet, balls
mainly
above
because
your
whether-
feet, you're up, you're down.
But that's because whether you hit to, there are flat lies, but they hit past them.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
And they're talking about redoing 13.
Oh, yeah, that's
Not
the next
this year,
major
but
project.
The next major project will be 13, and
What?
that thing is brutal.
Why would you touch 13?
I don't know. It's
Well, they
one of the
redid
most
the green
iconic
this year.
there is.
They're probably going
They
to.
redid 3 greens.
Can they even move it
3,
back?
13 and one other 7.
I think it's back as far as it can go.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go back. You can't hardly add more right to left slope on it. I don't know
No?
what they're going to do to this thing, but they feel like I think it's too gettable. There's just been too many eagles there, recently with the way these guys. So I don't know what they're going to do.
You could throw a trap out there.
They
Yeah.
could throw a trap. They could do something. They could plant some trees. They can do something to make people hit spots.
Yeah.
Because there's really no penalty if you push it right. I mean, you can, even the pine straw, you can get up and down for birdie at least. So it's
Yeah.
just it's become an easier hole. So they're going to try and make it hard.
All right, so let's get back. One we say is a hard two. Two is the probably most birdieable hole on the course, would you say?
Well, besides 13 that we just talked about, but
Well, 13,
Right.
there's traps, there's water. 13,
13's
two, they've got that one trap to the right of the hole.
and there's water to the left of number 2. So
Number two?
Yeah,
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. No.
I don't think so, not on two. No, I don't think so on two.
Does it really matter to
Trap to
them?
the left, trap to the right. But my favorite placement of the pin is on the Sunday placement, where they have it far back right,
Yeah.
where you hit the front, it rolls down. And a lot of people lay up to the left, to the right side of the big trap. But if you go for two, it's an opportunity. So I think two has more of an opportunity for a birdie than.
So we're talking about the hole we want to play.
Well,
If we can play one hole.
Yeah, if we can play hole.
And which one would that be?
Well, I want to go through them and say, when
gonna
you get
go
you the
through-
hole, let me know which one you want to play.
So we're going to get done by about next
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Oh, you
Two
can't.
minutes.
Every hole?
So number three. Number three is probably the hole I would play.
If you're still awake when we get to 18, we'll talk about yours.
Yeah.
Number three is the hole I would probably want to play.
This
Because I
is
think I got a
This is
shot.
what Chuck lays awake at night and replays Augusta National.
See, this is why we're not going to make it through 18 holes, because you got to have a comment to everything I say. But on hole three, it's short enough where I think I could drive close to it and chip up in 2 putt. I think it's the only hole in the course that I got a shot to par. So that's why I'd be on two.
You take it because that's your shot for par.
I'd take it because I got a shot at par in Augusta. That's the only reason I would choose three. 4 is a par 3, short hole par 3. So is 5 is a long par 4, which probably the most undulating green on the course.
I have watched the Masters since I was 9 years old. Except for the one time I was there, I don't remember the front nine. You know why?
Because you always watch the back nine.
Because they only televised the back nine.
But now,
For all those years.
on the front,
That was long before Golf Channel, which
to me, the
They
iconic
televise
hole in
the
the front
normals.
9 would be 6, the par 3.
Well, because there are people sitting down below the tee box, and people don't know that people are hitting over you watching.
Right, and you got like 2 or 3 holes right there together.
Yeah.
So you can sneak over and watch 6 and head over and watch some other holes.
And 7's a long par 4 too.
Yeah.
8 is another par 5. It's very similar to 2. It's long. You go up the hill and you dogleg to the left to the hole. It's just a very 2-tiered green. It slopes greatly from back to front. And 9's just an average par 4 to me. Not for me, but I think for the pros, it's just a very par 4. Where it starts, like David said before, is on the 10th hole. I love the 10th hole. I love the shape of the 10th hole. I love you got to be precise where you drive. If you hit it anywhere center to left, you're going to be all right. But if you hit it right, you're going to wind up over there where Bubba Watson is, and then you'll chip out from his.
But then you get an
hole.
iconic hit.
Then you get an iconic hit.
chip out.
Yeah.
That little chip with a little.
Well, I wasn't
with a
really
little-
chip out.
That
was
little
more
chip
like
that did.
That was an iron. That was an iron. That wasn't a chip.
That total hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. All right, 11. Now 11 they lengthened this year. Is it right? No, they lowered the tee box on 11 and raised the one on 15 and moved 15 back 20 yards. So 15 is going to be longer this year.
I'm just amazed at his knowledge of this golf course.
Yeah, really, because
I am just.
I've walked this course.
No lie. I'm not blowing smoke here. I am amazed at your knowledge of this golf course.
Well, I watched Fred Ridley today, and he was talking about the changes on 11 and 15. But he said if they didn't do that, they wanted to raise 15 or move it back 20, and if they didn't, they would have to build a retaining wall or something between 11 and 15. They didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So 11 is going to be a lot longer. They added 3 new trees to the right, so you can bail out to the right. But if you bail out to the right, now you're going to have more tree trouble than you have before. And 11 still got the pond on the left.
11's a long hole to start with.
I know it, and they moved it back 20 yards. No, they moved 15 back.
Have you ever sit at
They
the-
just raised the tee.
Last time I was there, I got up on the tee box area to watch the guys, and you look down 11, and you're like, "Damn, this is a long hole."
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well, if you could sit behind 12 or behind the tee at 12 and watch them finish 11, play 12, and tee off at 13, you probably can see most of 13 from there. So 13's a great hole. and like David said earlier, I don't know how they're going to change it and make it different. But I know they did resod the green. And they said the reason they did that is so they can get a couple of new pin placements. Where those pin placements are going to be this year, I don't know. But I hope they have them all, the traditional Sunday pin placements they have.
You know, like Mark said, we got to do an over and under. I'm not going to do 13. I think they're going to add sand traps, somewhere in the 260, 270.
Yeah.
Right and left.
They're going to
Or
make a
both.
decision.
One or the other, or both.
That's all they can do.
To make people try and hit over them,
Yeah.
split them.
But because you can't do anything around the green.
And you can't plant a tree that would be big enough to make a difference for a long
Like the
time.
old Eisenhower tree that they had in 17.
Yeah, that was how old was that tree? So it'd be a lifetime before a tree. I mean, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
Of course, they're like the Chinese. They play the long game. So
Right.
as far as Augusta's concerned, I might plant an oak, out there.
Yeah, the only way you could do it, because I don't think you can go further back, is make it narrower in the landing zone. Put a sand trap in there.
I think it's too well defined. I think it has to be a penalty area. It has to be a sand trap.
Yeah.
Like that, I do too, yeah. And 14, we all know 14 is, what's is significant to 14?
It's after 13.
No, it's the only,
It's before 15.
it's the only hole in the course that does not have a sand trap. There are no sand traps on 14.
Really?
It's just the huge size of the green and the undulation of the green.
You know who else knows that? Nobody. Nobody knows that.
It's the only.
But that's only because nobody cares.
Well, I think there is some significance.
That's actually kind of creative.
Yeah, there's no sand trap on 14.
I know. Let's freak these guys out. There's no sand
No,
trap.
no, no.
I can see Bobby.
They didn't even care about 14 enough to put a sand trap on it. They were like, "What are you going to do to 14?" Because it's 14. We don't mess with that
They
one.
ran out of sand.
They got through 13. Their creative juices were gone. They walked through 14. Went till they got to 15. They decided to juice
The
it
year
up.
Phil won, he hit an iron into 14, eagled it from the fairway. So, and again, the Sunday pin placement's upper left. But if you go right, you're down this
Which of
50.
the years he won?
The last one, I think. Last one. I can't remember what the year was. You probably know. And then, of course, the iconic 15. Like I said, they moved the tee 20 yards back. That's going to make that second shot a decision more than it has been in times.
Yeah, there's been a lot of guys over the last years that have been hitting 4 irons. 4s and 5 irons into that green.
And I think that's why they moved the tee back. Now it's got to be a 3 or hybrid
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
16's lower pin placement for a Sunday. The top one for Saturday. I really like it when it's up there because that's a tough pin to go at.
15?
Yeah, no, 16.
Oh, I love 16.
I do too.
It's a tough pin to go at regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
No
You
matter
have
what's
so
holding
much
it.
slope. I mean, on 16, you
Yeah.
have so much slope
I mean,
back to front. You got the water. I mean, it's just
I was actually on 16 when Tiger hit his famous chip shot.
no.
Oh,
It
yes.
fell in.
Actually, I was across the water, standing up, right across the water there,
Oh, wow.
with a friend of mine, Kevin Arnold,
Wow.
and we were following Tiger from like 13 through, and when he hit that chip and it stopped, everybody's heartbeat just
And then it
boom,
fell in.
and then it went in.
Yeah.
That place was just
It
wild,
had to go
just wild.
Yeah.
And then 17's wild because in some places the hole sits up on like a little plateau where if you go long, it's going to roll off. If you hit it short, it's going to come all the way off the false front,
Yeah.
and you have a hard shot. You get up there.
Sure.
And then 18, I watched the women's amateur, and I bet 60% of the competitors hit the ball in that trap on the left, and then nobody could get up and down from
Really?
there. They were like,
Oh, but my experience on 18 is when people go bad, they go bad into the woods on the right,
yeah.
and I don't know
You mean
why.
off the tee?
Yeah, off the tee.
Yeah.
But these girls could not play that left or right shot. And it's either aim right and hope you got it hooked and you didn't go in the woods, or you're in the trap. So 18 is just a classic finishing hole to me. Now, you know my hole's the third hole. Mark, which hole are you playing? 16?
16. I love 16. I mean, my best time is going out there in the practice rounds and watching them skip the ball at 16. That is just fascinating. It's just to purposely do that and run them up on the green one after another is amazing. And it's just a beautiful hole. And I could possibly hit the green if you gave me 100 balls.
I tell you, if you let me walk up there and drop one of them on there,
Yeah.
that's how I can.
But I just think it's a very scenic hole.
It is. There are a lot of those, but 16 is probably the most. David, which hole are you playing?
I would play 13 because it would give you a chance to hit probably every club in my bag on that hole.
Yeah.
And then once you got
Oh, I like the way you're
you
thinking there.
Yeah.
This is a chance to hit at least one of every club I've got.
Well, I get to hit 3 or 4 off the tee,
Right.
because I have to.
Right, and you'll eventually drop down to like a 5-iron.
Seriously, just to get in the fairway. But I'm a decent golfer. If I was ever going to go play Augusta, I would play every day until I could go. Just so I wouldn't embarrass myself. But 13, to me, it's an iconic.
Well, using your
it's kind of
your
a
thought,
game changer.
if I was taking your line of thought, I would probably play 15 because I would play there all day forever.
Just play 15.
Because I will never finish 15. I would never get the ball over there. I would chip it back across into the water. I would be playing Augusta every day for the rest of my life.
Dude, for us, it's, hit a 3-wood, hit a layup, hit a wedge, and,
Then
don't try and be a hero.
yeah, and then go over there and hit it back and watch it roll back over across the front.
Hit a 3-wood, hit a layup, hit a layup, hit a layup.
Layup. Yeah, I don't think I can hit a putter over that water.
Speaking of layup, I'm going to lay up to you, Dave, and let you talk about your business a little bit.
Oh, thank you very much. So, which one? Business.
Whatever you want to.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the real estate business. So my family, we own a company called ReLocal Home. It's a hyper-local boutique real estate company located in Kennesaw. I've been doing this for the last 36 years. I know I don't look it, but 36 years in the real estate business. We also own a national relocation company and a couple of other companies, referral-based companies that are real estate based. But ReLocal Home, we have 10 agents. All of them, that's all they do. We focus on the Kennesaw Acworth area, and a ton of experience. We work as a team, even though we're not a team. If I'm out of town, I can call any one of my agents and say, "Hey, show this house," or go by and take care of this for me, pick up a sign. We actually enjoy working together and working for each other without trying to hammer each other for, well, what are you going to give me to go show that house? It's just helpful. It's teamwork, and we have experience, that just a lot of other. We've added in the United States. We've added 400,000 agents in the last 2 years. We went from 1.2 million agents to 1.6 million agents in the United States. I think half of those 200,000 are in Georgia. Everybody you know is a realtor, but they've done 4.5 deals. And they needed their broker's help on all of them because they just have no clue what they're doing. And in this market, you need people who know what they're doing.
Well, it's still very much a seller's market, isn't it?
Oh, it's a total seller's market. And here's a caveat to that: 1.6 million agents. There's less than 800,000 homes for sale in the United States today. So there's 2 agents for every home that's for sale.
I know somebody that put in a bid for a house in Marietta. 3 days after it came on the market, there were 18 bids. Theirs were over the asking price, and they were told they didn't even make the top half.
Yeah, what was wrong with it that it was 3 days later?
I know. Well, I think it was a date that was set by the seller.
It is. We do this now. We wait and put a house on the market on Friday. We tell the sellers to go away. Sometimes we'll send them away. Go away for the weekend, come back on Sunday night, and we'll look at these things Monday night, and we'll pick one on Monday night, or we'll go highest and best by Monday night. We recently lost a deal. Don't hold that against us. Lost a deal. Somebody coming in from California. Our people offered $50,000 over the asking price. $55,000. It was a $695,000 house. We offered $750,000. We didn't even get a call back. 2 days later, I called the agent and said, kind of rude. We didn't get a call back. I said, Dave, I'm so sorry. And somebody I worked with before. But we got a $785,000 cash offer. So $90,000 more than asking. Beautiful home, but people are tired of losing, and they just pull out.
Do you see this market loosening up for any reason?
Is this the real estate show?
Well, I don't know. It's his business, and I'm curious.
Not anytime soon. We have no inventory, and interest rates are going up. So right now it's kind of a sprint to get in before they hit 6%, 7%, and we're going there. We're going to go to 6 and 7%
Okay.
in the near term, and I think higher than that in the long term.
Jeez.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. You bet. Hey, speaking of making money on the weekend,
I told you I don't bet.
who's going to make the money this weekend? That's what I've done. I know you're not.
Well, you don't bet, or you don't bet money.
I don't.
Don't even go
I got
there.
a friend of mine. We play golf and we bet humiliation.
Oh, I bet that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to lose that one.
Like the loser wears the winner's favorite hat. Chuck.
Yeah, I know that one.
Okay.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We want you to do this too. If you want to text in your picks to 4707-SPORTS, 470-777-6787. We're going to take one first-time player. We're going to take one past champion. We're going to take one American and one international player. And tell us who your four are you think have the best chance to win.
And
I will start. I have Tom Hoagie, who I think has been playing pretty well lately. He is my first timer. I have Dustin Johnson as my former champion that I think is going to play well. I have Scotty Scheffler, who's now number one in the world. He's won 3 out of the last 5 tournaments, which I think is very impressive. And I also have my international players, the toughest one for me to pick. I have so many. I want to take Rory because I love Rory McIlroy. But he has not been playing well in the Masters lately. They have been playing well lately. And my international play should be John Rahm, but it's not. I'm going to take Cam Smith because of the success he had at Sawgrass at the Players Championship. He putts so well. I've never seen. I think the last round he had the fewest putts ever in the tournament, like 21 putts or something like that on 18 holes. But those are my 4. And the other thing you have to pay for tiebreaker is the number of birdies you think that will be made during the whole Masters. And I'm going with 1,344 because that's 2.4 per round based on the fact that there's 91 players playing the first 2 days and there'll be around 60 or 70 the second day. So those are my picks. Dave, what you got?
I have got Sam Burns as my first timer.
Okay.
He's just got a great iron game. You need a great iron game, to win at Augusta. For my international player, I've got Cam Smith as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, Cam Smith is legit, and I think he's kind of coming into his own right now.
Yeah.
He feels like he can win anytime he gets on the golf course,
Yeah.
and he's got great hair.
Mullet.
Yeah.
You don't think the mullet's going to get in the way, do you?
I don't think so. Well, it's going to be windy, so it's possible.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
could affect him.
Has
That
to
could
wear a
affect
hat.
him. Yeah, he might want to cut that.
Yeah.
I've got Dustin Johnson as. I think he's got some pride. He just did not play well last year, at all. And after winning it, the year before, so I
He didn't
think
make the cut, did he?
he didn't make the cut last year,
Yeah.
and so I think that there's a pride factor there for him. So I got Dustin Johnson, and then for my U.S. player, I've got either Colin Morikawa or Justin Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Justin
we-
Thomas got an amazing iron game, like Cam Smith.
And I love Colin.
And that's-
Morikawa.
Yeah, and Morikawa is he's not afraid of anything.
No,
he
he's
just
not.
isn't afraid of anything.
Yeah.
It's not too big of a stage for him.
We got some overlaps there then.
Yeah.
I went for my first time. I
Well,
went
I'm
with
going less than 1344 because of the weather conditions.
Okay. Well,
On birdies.
I took that's 2.4 per round, or 4.2 birdies per
Yeah, I'm going
round.
to go 2.39.
how many did you go with?
4.2. 1,344.
1,344 birdies.
That's 4.2 rounds based on 320.
Can you say it with me?
Based on
Georgia
320
Tech?
rounds.
Nerd.
Nerd, 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 nerd.
That's a Georgia Tech thing. So,
Wow.
who are your 4?
My 4. Well, I went with the Gooch. Mainly because he is a marketing dream.
Taylor Gooch.
And Taylor Gooch, mark my words, he will have shirts out. The Gooch.
Unlike Cooch, it'd be Gooch.
He's been playing well. He wore some shorts at the Masters, so they're not really uptight about the whole situation. Even though they did tell him to go put some pants on. But so I went with the Gooch, and then after the Gooch, I went with Jordan Spieth.
Yep.
That's my emotion. I'd love to see Jordan come back and win it.
I want Jordan. And then I went Justin. For my American. And I just think you're right. I think this is a redeeming chance for him. And then I went McIlroy because he's just my favorite.
He's my favorite
Well,
player.
it completes the Grand Slam for him, doesn't it?
Yeah,
If he
it
wins
would
the
be.
Masters.
This
You
is
know,
his eighth shot.
I remember him when he first came up. He's just a kid, and I've always followed him ever since, and I just like his attitude.
He's my favorite golfer. He's
Yeah.
he's also 2 days younger than my son, than Chip. They're born 2 days apart. So that's another reason
Makes
I
them
like.
almost twins.
Almost, yeah, from different mothers from different countries. But I love them. I love my two favorite golfers are Colin Morikawa and Rory McIlroy, and I'd love to see one of them win. But I'm not picking favorites based on who I want to win. If I had to say who I want to win, I'd love to see Rory McIlroy win and get that career Grand Slam.
Well, it'll be kind of like, what, 3 years ago, 17? You know, when I'm having a Garcia.
Sergio.
Garcia finally broke through and won it.
Very emotional
Yeah.
for me. I was very happy to see Sergio win.
Yeah.
And he, it took him 19 tries.
Did you say very emotional for you?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Very, I mean,
tearing-
like,
tearing
did you
up?
do it?
Really?
Yeah.
When you say 19, you mean like 19 grips, or?
No, that was his 19th. That was his 19th entry into the.
I thought
into
that
the
how many times
Masters.
he had to grip the club to swing it.
No, his 19th try, and I was just so happy to see him win a major. I like Sergio always.
That's
have.
it. That's his only major.
I know.
I mean, this guy's got so much talent, and he's never been able to finish.
And he's been that way since he was 19. Everybody
I don't know.
says,
Yeah,
"He'll be
and it
next
took him
great
19 holes to win it on the last day.
Now,
He missed.
Yeah,
he
on the
missed
19 hole.
a, he missed
He
a
missed a
6-footer on 18.
On 18.
That would have won
Was it
it.
Justin Rose? He was in the.
Yeah.
Justin Rose. He was in the playoff with.
Yeah.
And then Justin Rose hit it in the woods right. He hit a nice drive, hit it within about 16 feet or 12 feet, and then made the 12-footer.
Yeah.
What?
He had 2 shots to make
Two
it,
shots
but he
to
nailed
make
it.
it,
Yeah.
well, I know you guys, have been in golf, tournaments, and you hear the guys yell in the hole and all the other crap, I never felt the need to yell at the golf course,
Yeah.
Except one time I felt the need and I held it back, and it was Sergio. And I wanted to scream, hit the ball already! He was frustrating the hell out of me, and I was just watching. I wasn't playing behind him. I just wanted to scream, hit the ball already!
I've only felt that way about one other golfer, and he's fixed that since then. Can you think who it is?
Bryson DeChambeau?
No. Kevin Na.
Oh, now it started doing that too, yeah.
You know why? Starting out in his career, oh my
Yeah.
God, that guy had more quirks.
The little ticks and
he was
grips and.
incredible. I wouldn't say I watched him on television. They stopped covering him.
Oh, yeah.
He'd literally come in when he got to his last
Painful,
tick. and
painful.
then, they would edit. Just show it.
So who do you want to win? If you not your picks, but who do you want to win?
Who do I want? I want Fred Couples to win.
Yeah.
Freddie's my favorite golfer of all time.
Yes, you are.
Oh yeah, I love. He's
got
a
the
class
smoothest
act.
swing
He's
It's
a
butter.
yeah. He's
His swing
a
is butter.
Southern gentleman. He's Freddie Couples is my all-time favorite, and the chance that Freddie Couple could win this is about as good as me winning it. So
Yeah. And David, who do you want to win?
I want Speedster.
Do you?
I really want. I'd love to see him come back and just play really, really well for all, because he's showing signs of it. I mean, last year he got a win at Valero, and then he was in the mix the next week, at the Masters, and then he, or 2 weeks later, but he wasn't finishing. He's not finishing now. It's almost, it's amazing. It's almost since 2017 when he came to 16 and hit, 16 or 15, when he hit like 4 balls in the water.
No, that was 12.
Number 12.
oh the choke. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he
the
took
choke.
it.
Yeah.
And he was leading by 3 going into that hole. He was losing by 3 coming out of the hole. Behind by 3.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the same since then.
Well, that happened to Greg Norman too. I mean, oh yeah, when he fell apart,
The
that
greatest
was.
collapse of the Masters.
Oh, yeah.
Not the greatest golf ever in golf. That belongs to John Vanderbilt. But
Well, even Norman, he never won the Masters.
Yeah.
86, Jack shoots 35, 30 on the back 9, 35 on the front. He's in there at 9 under par. Norman comes to the 18th at 9 under. All he has to do is par, and he goes into a playoff with Nicklaus. If he birdies, he wins. He sprays a 5-iron into the gallery and makes bogey, when Nicklaus wins.
yeah.
So Norman has not done well
Yeah.
in majors generally.
Speaking of people who have not done well in majors, we have Steve on the phone. Really?
Well, I haven't lost one myself.
Steve, I love you, man. That's
Oh, Vegas is calling him already.
Yeah, you don't know what they're calling me though.
Yeah, well, you probably aim an ear or two. But anyway, I didn't watch the last few rounds. I find the first and second rounds quite fascinating, but I didn't really watch much after that. But I do think Kansas will keep their championship. Like you guys said, wonder what will happen. In that situation, you get two guys who are already serving time as felons for paying Kansas recruits to play basketball in Kansas. You got one other guy who was also convicted as a felon. He happened to turn on the other two. But yet we're supposed to believe that Bill Self and Kansas were aware that these players were being paid. They were just being encouraged to play for the University of Kansas by somebody who happened to be a representative of a shoe company.
Well,
Listen,
well,
it was just a beta test for NIL.
right. I really think you call them felons. I call them ahead of their time.
Yeah, there you go. The NCAA don't really do anything to Kansas. I think they have a different set of teeth when it comes to the blue bloods. Those teeth are probably made out of wood. But really, in their defense, if they penalize the blue bloods for getting caught doing what all the other blue bloods are doing, and probably many of the non-blue bloods are trying to do this.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah. Their organization, just like they did in football. And where is CBS's $1 billion going to go? It's going to go with the blue bloods, and the NCAA knows that. So they're not going to do anything. In the end, Kansas might lose a scholarship. With NCAA, they put their archery team or something on double segregation.
Hey, their archery team was good last year.
What does the NCAA have against Tigers anyway?
Yeah, it's an anti-cat thing. It really is.
I'd rather it be an anti-dog thing.
There's probably more Tigers than anybody else, so they could form their own NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Tiger, what do you think about Tiger, Steve?
On the Tiger, I think it's great that he's playing. I think I won't ever say that Tiger can't do anything because he obviously has incredible concentration and mental toughness. But I don't see how he makes the cut. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see how he makes the cut. But I think it's exciting and certainly will be good for CBS that he's playing. I just hope some of the other players get some airtime
I was going to
while
say,
he's playing.
That is a great point.
You're right, because it's going to be all Tiger all day, isn't it?
Listen, someone could go
it
out.
already is. It already is.
Usually all Tiger, all day.
Somebody could go out there and shoot 61, and they're going to get honorable mention. Yeah.
If I had the opportunity to play a hole in the Masters, I'd play any hole they'd let me play. If I had to choose, I might choose number 12, just because it's such an iconic hole. It has so many pictures of it, on walls. And I think that, with a reasonably good tee shot on a still day, I might be able to beat a quadruple bogey Jordan Spieth. So I'd have some bragging rights.
Ah,
That's a cheap shot.
Oh, he
Yeah,
had
it's
more
a-
than a quadruple bogey.
but it
He
was a
had
good,
like
it was,
october
but it was a
bogey.
good cheap shot though.
I think it was a 7.
I thought it was like a 10 or a 12.
I think it is, because I want to say he hit 2 or 3 balls in the water on that hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Anyway, I might use 15 or 13 just because it might extend the day a little bit longer. And I do say might because that tee shot over 12 might take a little while. And I usually don't make picks to win golf tournaments. It's just anybody's game, and it really matters how well you hit the ball for 4 days, how well you putt, and what kind of breaks you get with bounces. But if I had to pick, and I really like to enjoy sports without the prognostication, but if I had to pick the 4 in your categories, I'd probably take Sam Burns, Dustin Johnson, John Rahm, and Justin Thomas. Not any players that I happen to like a lot. I don't dislike any of them, except for Rahm kind of bothers me. But I think Rahm's the best player in the world. And, man, you talk about guys
Yeah,
that
he
can
is.
hit the ball slender, has a ton of shots. It'd be hard for me to pick against anybody else.
Well, I know you're picking who you think will win. Question is, who would you want to win? Who would make you feel good they won the Masters?
I don't know. I really don't root for anybody, Mark. But I do think that Brett Couples has a better chance than you. I've seen you play. I've watched you play. I've played with you.
Hey, I resemble that.
Hey, can you believe this, David? They're picking on somebody besides me.
That's just not right.
I would say that, Mark, they would have to give you a morning tea time, and CBS would be off the air by the time you finish. You would be the first pro in the history of the Masters to let the field play through you.
I would be the first person to be lapped by the field.
I've never heard of anybody that let somebody play through on the first hole. But Mark, you would let somebody play through on the first hole.
You know, if that weren't true, it would hurt.
All right. You got any other closing remarks? Or are you good to go, Steve?
I'm good to get out of here.
All right. We'll see you soon.
My grandchildren.
Thanks. So that's interesting.
And so true, so true.
Yeah, so interesting. So I know we've got a couple of minutes left. Any real stats, Dave? I know you did a lot of research on stuff. Anything you want to share with us that's interesting?
Yeah, question. Who's finished second the most times at the Masters?
Jack Nicklaus.
It's true, the person who's won the most. How many times did Jack Nicklaus finish second in majors in his career?
A lot. Second, more than anybody else.
50.
19 times.
19 times.
Okay.
He won 18 majors, finished second 19 times.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy could hit 30 majors.
Who has the most top fives at the Masters?
Nicklaus.
Who has the most top tens?
Nicholas.
How many top 25?
I'd say Nicholas.
Palmer.
37 out of 45 he's
Yeah.
made the cut.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. That's why Jack is still my favorite.
He's still
golfer
my
of all
favorite
time.
as well.
Ever. Love Tiger. Like I said, I used to not be a Tiger fan at all, but he has changed my perspective of who he is as a person. And I have a great respect for Tiger now. But yeah, those are actually some of the stats I wrote about Jack. What's anything else?
I mean, he's the oldest player to ever win it.
Yep.
At 46.
Yep.
And he
So
would
far.
he would still be if Tiger won it this year.
No, I think Tiger's got him by a couple of months.
Does he?
Yeah,
I don't
think so.
know.
I think I saw that.
All right.
Most birdies in Masters history in one round, in one tournament?
11.
No, in one tournament.
20.
Not
Oh, one
round.
tournament.
Yeah.
23.
No, I'm going to say it has to be Tiger when he won by 12.
You're wrong.
No,
It's Jordan Speed.
no way.
28.
Oh, that's true.
28 the
That's
year
true.
he won. He had 28 birdies.
Because didn't he match? Yeah, he matched that and then went one ahead.
Then went ahead, yeah.
Tiger. That's
Yeah.
right.
Most birdies in one
love
round.
Steve.
Did you hear me say this earlier?
No.
Anthony Kim, 2009. He had 11 birdies in one round at the Masters. So some really, really cool stats I found. There have only been 3 successive winners. You know who they are? They won back-to-back years.
Tiger?
Tiger's one of them.
Nicholas is one.
Nicholas is one of them.
Palmer's the other.
No,
Hogan.
no.
No.
Nick Faldo.
Faldo. That's
80
right. That's
89,
right.
90.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's right. Palmer was every other year.
Yeah.
You know, it's like starting 58, 60, 62.
Yeah, and I said Cam Smith has a chance to win. There's only one other person that's ever won the Players and the Masters in the same year.
It wasn't me.
It was tied. 2002. He won the Players, and he came up.
Well,
won
and
the
we
Masters.
all, I don't know about you guys, but I believe the Players ought to be the fifth major.
Oh, I totally agree.
I mean, I just think they should just go ahead and label it.
Well, I
as the
think of
fifth
it that
major.
way. I mean,
Yeah. It's the one tournament I want to watch other than the four majors.
Yeah.
If not just for the 17th hole.
Well, that's and my son played the 17th hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a Bubba birdie.
Yeah.
First one's in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
A
when
Bubba birdie,
when Bubba
yeah.
stepped up to hit, he hit it 6 feet. Made the putt. So
Yeah. Well, Steve's played that hole before. We should have asked him about it. And he's actually played 17. If we played that course, I think he played it with Phil, didn't he? He played somewhere with Phil. I don't remember.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other interesting facts, Mark, before we close out today?
no, I think that hits all the highlights there.
David, what-
Although I'll bring in one thing. Nobody said put Tiger on any of their lists.
I'm
To
really
win?
surprised
Yeah.
at that.
To win, to want to win, or I mean,
I don't,
it's going to be all Tiger all
I don't
day,
want
but
him to win.
nobody
I don't want
wants
him to
to.
catch Jack.
I don't want him to catch Jack either, so I don't want him to win ever again
Yeah.
in a major. I don't care how many other.
Not that
he's
I've got
already,
anything against Tiger.
yeah,
I just don't want him to
he can
win.
beat Sam Snead's record with all-time victories. Here's a who built, who founded the Augusta National.
Bobby Jones and
Let's
Hogan?
just stick with Bobby Jones.
yeah,
So, how many times did Bobby Jones win it?
0.
0 times.
He's never won the Masters.
And he never broke par at Augusta National when he played. And this was the greatest golfer of his time. Built, this thing in 1934, started in 1932. He was the best golfer in the world at that time, even though he had retired. And he never broke par on his own course. I was flabbergasted when I read that.
Well, I've broken par every time I played.
How badly did you break it?
I broke it over.
And my last two facts, which are really cool. Most birdies in one round was Anthony Kim. In 2009, he had 11 birdies in one round.
Is Alzheimer's kicking in?
It is.
Yeah, I think so because you mentioned that
Did I say
earlier.
that one? Okay. Well, I thought that was off the air. No?
No,
Okay.
Yeah, just like 3
And
days
then
ago. What do you treatment?
David and I were talking about this earlier. There's one guy that birdied all par threes in one round. He got 4 birdies. in
One
one
person
round.
ever do it?
The only person to ever do it, and that was Charlie Hoffman,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool. That can't be easy to do.
Well, he had shot 7
He had-
under, had 9.
Wait a
birdies.
second.
Oh yeah, he was in the lead. He like the lead second day.
you twice mentioned a guy who got 11 birdies, but he didn't hit all the par threes.
He didn't get birdies on the
He didn't get
par threes.
birdies on all the par threes.
He might
That's,
have gotten
he got
one or
11
two,
birdies, but not
one or two, but
not.
not
Yeah,
all of the
Not
par
all
threes
4
at
of
the
them.
same
Yeah.
time.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. All right, guys. Now you see why we're all things Masters. We really love the Masters. At least I do. This is my favorite week of the
My
year,
favorite week.
and I'm sure we'll be talking a recap next week.
If we're not winning the national championship in college football, I'd rather be the Masters.
Yeah, me too. So guys, don't forget to take care of yourselves, check your numbers, cover your ass, get your prostate checked. We'll see you next week. Happy Masters weekend.
Oh, we didn't put a competition out there
Yeah, I did.
to pick the winner.
Yeah, I said it.
Okay.
Text you.
Well done.